Hey folks, hope you're doing well. For a middle of the week, wanted to hit you with some scripture today before you head off to bed here in just a little while. Back from the Old Testament, a book that we're probably not very familiar with because we don't teach from and don't read from it a lot, but it's got a very powerful message for us, and I think it's very timely for the church right now. In the book of Hosea, we read about God's love and His compassion and His faithfulness for His people. It's a story at the beginning of the book of the prophet Hosea, who is married to a woman by the name of Gomer, who is unfaithful in their marriage, and she goes away, and God tells Hosea to go after her, to go find her, to pay off her debts, to pay off her lovers, and to take her back, regardless of what it is that she has done, and to love her as He loves His people. And He said, this is symbolic of my love for Israel, of my love for my people, that even though I took you to the promised land and blessed you with so many things, you took those blessings and you sacrificed them to another god. You put something else before me. You idolized something else. And I think that that's very, very timely for us now as the church, because I think we're all finding ourselves in a place where the things that we idolized have been taken from us. The things that we gave the most time to have been taken from us. Sporting events are gone. Musical venues are closed. All kinds of entertainment options, activities that we were involved in that took us away from the church and being part of the community here are gone. Even gathering as the church is really not a huge option for us right now, but if I could think of all the things that I miss doing and being part of, being in worship with the church is probably the thing that I miss the most. But I think what God is saying is, how important were those things really? How important were those things compared to being in worship, being part of the church, having a relationship with me? How important were those things really next to a relationship with the Father? And the rest of the book goes on, and Hosea gives warnings and accusations through a few chapters of poetry as he finishes out the book. But there's a section of that in chapter 6 that reminded me of a song that we used to sing whenever I was in high school and I would attend church camp, that talks about just returning to God, being a repentant person, even though bad things have happened to us and we find ourselves in a dark place. Just returning to Him. And it says, starting in chapter 6 of Hosea, verse 1, it says, "Come, let us return to the Lord. He has torn us to pieces, but He will heal us. He has injured us, but He will bind up our wounds. After 2 days He will revive us. On the third day He will restore us, that we may live in His presence. Let us acknowledge the Lord. Let us press on to acknowledge Him. As surely as the sun rises, He will appear. He will come to us like the winter rains, like the spring rains that water the earth." Let us acknowledge the Lord, because He's gonna restore us. He's going to restore us so that we can live in His presence as the church. I believe that He's working out some pretty powerful things for us as His church. If we would just return to Him,